Welcome to our not coffee tech chat. We're going to call this the whiskey tech chat. And as you'll see from our beautiful surroundings, we are not in our usual location. We are in Berlin. And this is probably one of the first videos you're going to see of Project Berlin, or what we class as Project Berlin.
Yeah.
We are at Beyond Berlin in Berlin. How many times can I say Berlin in one go? We are at Beyond
Berlin.
Which is hosted by Pax8
In Berlin.
And this is we've ended technically what is day one, or the part of the opening day, and we're just going to give you our thoughts so far, what things we've seen, what things we've thought about, and we'll talk some tech chat and some cyber chat while we're going. So enjoy. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell, because did you know 97% of you watching this video are not subscribed? So help a guy out. Chip.
Yo.
Berlin. What do we think so far?
Very beautiful city so far. We'll start with the city because we've been out a bit and explored a bit.
We have been tourists.
Quite impressed, I can say, so far.
Yeah, I like it. It's quite clean.
Yeah, quite clean. And nobody's in a rush.
Yeah. It was one of the things that shocked us all, I think, was that we found ourselves rushing and going, whoa, we need to slow down, because we didn't have a reason to rush, for one. But everybody else was going at like half-ass pace. Just quite slow, quite chilled, even at the touristy bit. So even at like the tourist attraction, we went to the Berlin, what is left of the Berlin Wall. Everybody chilled, everybody kind of, it's different to any other European city I've been to. I think you said the same thing.
Yeah. Totally different vibe, good vibe. And it's a safe city. It feels safe.
It feels very safe. We were out last night till very late getting food, walking down streets that we've never been down before.
It was 1 a.m.
Yeah, and felt safe as houses.
And there were elderly people out as well.
There were elderly people.
I saw a few couples like, oh, whoa.
Yeah. So all in all, Berlin so far, as a city, absolutely awesome. I like it. It's quite expensive as a city. Yes, we're in a hotel, and hotels are always expensive.
No. Disagree here.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, depends where you go.
The taxis are really expensive from the airport.
Yeah,
get an Uber.
Get an Uber.
Definitely get an Uber.
But the food-wise, if you think about it, then it cost me 25 quid, which
that's actually way cheaper.
Yeah. The KFC cost us like 30, less than 30
quid or something. Yeah. For three of us. Now we're talking about three of us eating here. 3 grown men. Well, 2 grown men and maybe a half behind the camera.
But yeah,
I like the city.
Yeah. You have to remember it's a touristic attraction as well. And,
it is.
Yeah. Alcohol is cheaper than water here. That's what I can tell you.
100% alcohol is cheaper than water.
Yeah, have beer. I mean, they're the country where they
drink beer, not water.
Yeah. Talking about the event and the venue that Pax8 used, quite impressed with the location.
Yep.
So far, so good. Very well organized, I can say. We
are in the Intercontinental in Berlin. Pax8 have taken the entire hotel for their event. I'm impressed so far.
The venue is willing to accommodate any needs that we have. We can give them a shout out because they've been very accommodating.
Massive shout out to the staff at the Intercontinental in Berlin, because they have been so accommodating to us, responding to stuff really, really fast when you need stuff. No problem whatsoever. Very, very good. Very impressed with the hotel of itself. Totally impressed with. And the event so far. So we arrived in late last night. The event partially started today, kind of midday today, was registration and all the process. They had the Women in Tech panel, which is talking about the women that are in technology and in our industry. We then have had a vendors evening, I suppose is what you would call it, where they supplied some food. Then the vendors were there and you could talk to them and have a chat with them, which you'll see in some of the up and coming videos, our conversations with them. But
yeah, what do you think about the female in tech?
So there isn't enough females in tech. I don't know if it's a thing of. I think one of the women on the panel pointed out really well today, in the fact of, and the case study we were talking to our account manager at Pax8 actually about this, and there's a case study where if a guy goes to apply for a job and there's 10 points on that they have to hit, 10 different things that they talents or skills or whatever that they have to have. If you tick as a guy, you tick 6 of those boxes
out of 10, yeah.
Out of 10, 9 out of 10 chances that you will apply for that job, right? Because you'll go, why the hell wouldn't I try applying for it? But there's a stat that if a female looks at that and they don't hit 6 out of 10, they won't even apply. Even if they did hit 6 out of 10, they won't even apply. And I think that's a cultural thing. I think that's it's kind of an ingrained thing.
Yeah, I believe what I've learned today is that there's the lack of encouragement on the female engineers. They don't get enough encouragement, and it's like, oh, you're a woman, or it's like, why would you go and work in IT? But as that doctor said that was invited in the initial presentation,
yep,
you just have to go for it.
Yeah,
just
try.
Yeah, and if you're the parent of a daughter, just open that path for her.
Yeah, get them involved. Get them involved in technology. Get them going forward. It's a as I was speaking to one of the guests today and explaining, we were talking about how many females we have in each of our businesses, in their business and our business, and we don't have females in our office, not through choice, but every time we run a job advert, we don't have females apply. I think in the 16 years that I've been in business, shout out, it was our birthday last week.
We're celebrating in Berlin as well.
We're celebrating in Berlin as well with whiskey. It was, I think in the 16 years that I've been in business, I've had maybe 2 applicants.
Yeah.
And that's it in 16 years. And we've put out job adverts a lot over those 16 years. And if they don't apply, you can't give them a job if they don't apply. So I think there needs to be a change in. I don't think it's a change in the industry, because I believe that the opportunities are there. I think it's a change in people's viewpoints and people's way they approach something, and I think that's from the female side as well. I think they need to just try and apply and push themselves for it. Yeah, so that was good. We went to that. You'll see some videos on that. I know there's some bits going into our videos that Chris was there. And then we had the vendor expo, which was cool. We got to meet some vendors that we know.
Yeah.
And learn some new stuff from the vendors.
Yeah.
A couple of them, new portals, new things, new options that are coming up. You'll see those coming up. And some new vendors, some really interesting vendors. We're going to record some podcasts while we're here. And one of them that we're going to record is with one of those vendors, because I invited them this evening to join us on the podcast, to talk about why backup is so important in every business and why you should have it.
I like the fact that there are a lot of competitors as well.
Yes, side by side.
Yeah, side by side.
Literally side by side.
Side by side, yeah.
Literally side by side.
And for example, with 1Password, Keeper, and LastPass.
All in the same building.
All in the same building.
Yep. They weren't all side by side. Did you notice they were strategically at the corners of the building away from each other? But yeah, it's good to have variation.
Yeah, of course.
It's good to have competition because that keeps the product good, that keeps the pricing good. But it's good to have variation at these type of events, not just come to them and go, there's one password manager, there's one backup company, there's one this, one that, one this, because then you have no choice. You can't go and talk to them and go, what do you do? What have you got? Why should I pick you over the other one, which was one of my questions tonight. Direct was, why should I pick you over them?
Yeah.
And you get the information. But so far, absolutely brilliant, really good. I like it. I'm liking it. Yeah.
So far, what you've seen? Have you seen a product that's like, oh, I didn't know that this is available, and it's like, oh, I'm interested in using it?
Veilmail.
Yeah.
Just because of its abilities, and it's like, actually, I should quite like that. And to simplify it, the way that they were explaining it about the engineers not needing to have access to DNS and so forth, and they can get the information, do the stuff they require. That kind of, it would get us back to that. Your engineers or technicians only having access to what they need access to, rather than giving them access to everything. I thought that product was quite good. The other products I've seen before, Cove I've not seen before. No. Shout out to Cove, they're going to be on our podcast. I've not seen their product before. I'd be really interested to play with their product and benchmark it against other products that we already use.
Yep.
But so far, I think they're the two standouts for me from this evening. They're the one, yeah.
Quite keen for tomorrow to see the rest of the vendors. Unfortunately, we haven't had the chance to see all the vendors present today. I saw a few that haven't had a staff member at the stands. So let's see what happens in the coming days.
You'd think that opening night at one of these events where there's a ton of MSPs like us, that you'd have a staff member at the stand.
Yeah, you don't know, probably call sick, give them the benefit of the doubt. Probably something happened. We'll probably say like, oh, 2 days will be enough for us.
Maybe. It's possible.
Yeah, there are a few cybersecurity stands that I want to see.
Yeah, there's a couple. I saw a couple that were like, I want to know more about you. But we've got a couple of days left here, so it's spread out the time.
Well, the problem is that the time goes so fast that even today, we started quite early.
We did.
We were here like up downstairs at 8 o'clock, I think.
Yep.
And then last time when we checked time, it was like 9 p.m. was time to go upstairs and do all the stuff.
What's the number one stand that you both want to see to do with cyber?
I don't know the names.
Don't know the name. You'll find out when we're actually at the stands. There were a couple of them that we looked at and went, but don't want I want to spend a good amount of time understanding each product from them that I don't know. So I don't want to have to. So for instance, for example, when we went to Channel Live, we had a short period of time to go through every single vendor that was there.
Yeah.
And get as much information as possible. Here, we've got 3 days to do that. They're the same group of vendors that are going to be here across the 3 days.
But if you think about it, we don't have 3 days. We had 9 hours, from which we are left with 6 hours. We spent like 20 minutes, half an hour. Depends if we like the vendor, we spend, for example, with was the Nable one, the
The Cove one.
Cove one. None of us want to leave because the guy was telling us what we wanted.
Yeah.
And we're like, I felt like a kid with him, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
I know.
Oh, it does this. I can't believe it.
My ops manager, that is meant to be fighting our side at all times for everything, just stood there and gave the sales guy all the ammunition he needed to sell me a product. It was like, here, take this, tell him about this, tell him about this. It was as though he worked for him as a salesperson. There are vendors here that we won't want to talk to. A couple. There's probably, I can probably pick a handful of vendors. I won't name and shame them, but there's probably a handful of vendors that I don't even want to talk to.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't use their product.
But if you think about it, a few vendors here, the reason why we don't want to speak with them, because they don't treat cybersecurity properly. And because the company is being breached or got breached in the past.
Well, yeah, it's not even that. It's the thing. So there are a few vendors here that I won't speak to because I have bad experiences with them.
Yeah.
There are a few vendors here that I won't speak to because, like you say, we know they have a lack of cybersecurity because of past things that have happened. So, yeah, so there are at least a handful. So that takes out 5 or 6 at the group that we're not going to waste any time with. There are a couple that we definitely won't talk to. And if you know, you know. But there are a group of vendors that actually I want to know more about.
They tried to pull me in to speak with me.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even look at their way so that they didn't even bother trying. But there's a few vendors that, yeah, we won't speak to. But there's quite a few that we will. And the idea is to break it down over the time we're here so that... Yeah. But all in all, it's been good so far. The opening day has been good. Tomorrow we've got official opening with initial speeches and so forth. And then we break out into the breakout rooms and into the meetings and into the nitty gritty of what we're really here for, which is to learn stuff, which should be fun. There's some cybersecurity stuff that I know that both of us want to go and have a look at.
The AI stuff as well.
Yeah, some AI stuff, which, yeah, I was reading an article today on LinkedIn from Cybersecurity News that OpenAI have released a report released a report on how much they investigated, how much malicious actors were using ChatGPT to do their malicious work. And they said in 2024 alone, they've got over 20 recorded cases of state actors. So Chinese actors, Eastern European, Iranian, blah, whatever. And they named the different actors that they did using it to try, and even one of them used it to try and spearfish OpenAI. So they used ChatGPT to help them spearfish OpenAI.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't work. But let me read this because there was a key point right at the end where they say, let me find it. This is really interesting from OpenAI, right? While these findings are alarming, OpenAI emphasized that the use of ChatGPT has not led to any significant breakthroughs in malware creation or the ability to build viral audiences for influencer operations. Now that's interesting because we know today we have used ChatGPT's advanced voice to help us twice while being here in Germany. None of us here speak German. We know how to say thank you, and that's about it. And please. None of us speak Russian either. So our 2 cases today was we were at the Russian War Monument here in Berlin, and it's written in Russian. I took a picture of it, and ChatGPT translated it into English and gave us some historical knowledge behind it at the same time, which was brilliant because none of us speak it, and it wasn't translated anywhere where we were, that main sign, and it was big, massive sign. Chris will flick through to a picture of it so you can see. And I had an issue in my hotel room where they had to send a technician to sort out my television because it was not functioning. When the technician arrived to the hotel room, he spoke no English whatsoever. He only spoke German. We used ChatGPT's advanced voice to translate what I was saying from English into German for him and to translate back from German to English. Now that's...
remove the language barrier.
That removed the language barrier instantaneously.
And you can go and travel in countries that you don't know a single word in their native language. You go sightseeing and you want to know more about the place. You take a picture of it and you
find
ask
the information.
And you ask ChatGPT, it's like, what's this building or what's this monument?
Yeah.
And it will tell you
and it tells you, and it gives you more background to it. So it's technically an AI tour guide.
Yeah.
And a translator, which the translation was, we knew it could translate because we played with the translation before, but actually real world situation, I haven't used it in a real world situation. We've used it in the office.
I used it once with Latin. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And it's that's brilliant. That worked amazingly for us today. So shout out to OpenAI for its translation capabilities. It's brilliant.
When I went to Prague, and that's when I was using ChatGPT to translate, I saw a sign of something, and it was in Latin, and it explained it in such a way, like translation, and said like, oh, Latin, it's a dead language. It's like, oh, okay, so it knows.
Yep.
So it's quite impressive.
Really impressive. I'm impressed. We know, you should know by now that we're very impressed with AI because we talk about it all the freaking time. But using it in a real world situation, like we did twice today, impressed me more because there's so much of you. We're using it in the office, testing it for translation, using it to find out information and to edit documents or using Copilot to do stuff. Yes, it's amazing and brilliant. But actually, when you walk out into the real world, not your office, and use it in day to day, it's like...
It's going to change the way people interact with each other as well. It's broken the language gap as well, if you can use that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well noted, Chris. Yeah. The guy smiled.
Yeah.
When he saw it, the guy started smiling because finally he understood the problem straight away.
Yep.
Instead of trying to explain it.
You just got to do this, and done.
Yeah.
And worked. Yeah. Really good point, actually. It is. Yeah. Very impressed with it. Yeah. But that impressed me. That shocked me over ChatGPT and OpenAI saying that it hasn't to date actually made any major steps in malware creation from using it, which you'd have thought it would have.
Yeah, my perspective is that because people have the ability to create mini ChatGPTs, you don't know because there are so many. I'm hoping that they are checking them constantly and see what's their intent. However, the villains, the people that are using ChatGPT maliciously,
malicious actors,
that doesn't stop them to give it a name it in a certain way that doesn't attract attention, but it does something malicious. It's
true, but I think OpenAI is probably looking at it from a data principle, so they're looking at it from the back end data.
Because again, you can trick ChatGPT to do things that it shouldn't do.
Yep, as proven in past videos.
Yeah, and what's stopping you? Because you can't explain like why there are so many phishing attacks and so many more successful phishing attacks than ever.
Yeah, that's true.
In another previous video, we said that the cyber attacks since AI raised by
they've raised massively.
I don't know, like 200%.
Yeah, because they're making it. I suppose in one way he might be, where we probably have to break this down into a bit of detail, is that from their records it hasn't been used to enhance malware, but where it has been used, and we know it has because we have cases ourselves in our office, is to improve their communication and the way they trick you. So it's being used to help improve the way their emails look, the tone of their emails that they send to you for phishing, which is not quantifiable by OpenAI.
Yeah, but not only the automation, it's used for automation.
Yeah.
You design it, you do it, collect the data, it's an automation process. Use the data here, you collect it, send it to me, and try to sign in automatically in this and change the password. Or once you sign in, because that's what they do, once you sign in into your 365 account, because pretty much all Google account, what do you do? Download all the contacts or download me a copy.
Yes, so they use it as a part of the tool set rather than it doing it for them. They slip it into the flow of the tool set to use rather than actually.
They use it as per design. It's a
as
tool.
a tool.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's as always, we're always looking and reading about tech, even when we're away in Berlin.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking. I haven't seen any anti-malware or antiviruses here. Sentinel-1, Sophos.
Sentinel-1's here. Sentinel-1's an EDR.
I was hoping to see ESET.
What's an EDR?
They're not on the line card yet. But then there's a few vendors that are not on the line card yet.
Quite surprised to see Foxit.
Quite surprised to see Foxit.
Yeah.
Like it that we're seeing Foxit, because that means there's progress happening.
Yeah. They had a very good product when they started, when we started using it like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. They had a bit of...
Foxit, it's a PDF editor.
It's a direct competitor for...
Adobe,
one of the direct competitors.
For Adobe. It's a good product.
It's a good product.
We have clients using it.
Yeah.
Chip uses it himself, I think, on his device.
Yeah, he's still using it.
We now have some NFRs.
Yeah, it does what this says on the tin. Pretty much that's what we follow.
PDFs.
Yeah.
The expectation is that an antivirus is not good enough now.
No.
That you should have an antivirus and an EDR in place. Or an EDR that acts like an antivirus.
Dude, you brought up this. You need 7 points of failure now.
Yes, layers.
Layers. There are 7 layers that you need now, and it's endpoint security.
Yep.
Mail security. Data protection. Network security. User training.
Yep.
And something that everybody ignores. Mobile device security.
100% mobile device. Mobile device security, massive. It's no longer so. If you go back in time a bit, everybody go, don't need an antivirus on my Apple, on my Mac, because they don't build viruses for my Mac. They do. People, I don't need protection on my mobile device because they don't build attack vectors or viruses for phones. They do. So 100%, your mobile device should be freaking absolutely covered.
And you have disaster recovery as well that people neglect a lot.
What's that?
Worst case scenario. Your company is affected by a ransomware, or your building explodes. You have to have something in place.
Does that include a personal device, or is that overkill?
That's bigger than the personal device. That's company level. So the company fails. Not the...
No, what I mean is, do you need that on a personal device, or is that overkill?
You should have it on everything. It's not just a business device. So any of our advice that we give you, yes, we speak predominantly about business and about what you should do to protect your business data. Personal data is just as important as business data. So if we say you should have protection on your mobile phone in business, you should have it on your personal one as well. So yeah, it's layers. I did this. So Friday before we flew out to Berlin, I did a cybersecurity presentation or delivered cybersecurity training to a client of ours in the Cotswolds, a beautiful location. And one of the things that I explained multiple times in different ways to them is cybersecurity is layers. At the root, it's like an onion. At the middle, at the core, is your company data. And then you add on layers for different protections so that you complete the onion, and the outer layer is the human, is the human element to it. At that same time, the human element is the weakest link. The stat is, if I remember from my presentation, because I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I think it was like 83% of all data breaches are caused by accident by a human.
Yep.
That's why I preach, train your staff. Train your staff. Because they're one of the layers to protect you. And it's layers of protection. Backups, password managers, antiviruses, EDRs, mobile data. It's all layers. And as I said in the training, doesn't matter how many digital layers I put in place. If you don't train your staff,
yeah, you can't do.
All that goes to waste because they can leave a door open. And it's done. Final points, Chip, on our time here in Berlin so far.
Looking forward for tomorrow. I already seen a few vendors that I can't wait to speak to them.
Yep.
Hope that my excitement won't prevent me from sleeping. So yeah,
drink another whiskey, you'll be fine.
Yeah. So that's about it.
And that's it from us. So we hope that you've enjoyed this little interaction, just to let you know how our trip is going, and what we're doing here for the Berlin project. So stay tuned for more, and don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because remember, there's a big chunk of you that are watching this video that aren't even subscribed. You subscribing helps us to be able to carry on creating good content so that you can watch it. Stay safe.